Hello and welcome back. This is the reconnection space here at Be More. Reconnection with ourselves, with our relationships, with the world around us. So the topic we're going to talk about today is all about the negative comments in your head. Because in the Be More world, in the wider world, we're talking about self-esteem, self-confidence, social anxiety. One of the things that can have the biggest impact on our self-esteem and our confidence is those negative comments. 60,000 plus comments go through our mind on a daily basis. Now, thankfully, we're not aware of all of that noise. We're able to filter that out. But I bet you the ones that pop up the most, the ones that you tend to focus on more, are the negative ones. You know, those ones that say, oh, I don't think you should do that. Oh, I'm not sure that's a good idea. The ones that might be holding you back, the ones that are creating a belief in yourself that perhaps isn't as positive as it could be. Now, I'm going to say something here that you might think is a little bit different to what you normally hear, because actually I want you to have a listen to those voices. Now, most of the time we're saying, don't listen to those negative voices. You know, don't go along with what they're saying. I'm not saying believe them, but what I'm saying is stop, remember, stop, breathe, be present, be mindful. That's part of our 3 steps that we're working through. And this is about understanding the messages that you're getting, because there's a reason why you're getting those messages. Your brain is sending those messages because of beliefs that it's built up. That could be to do with incidents that have happened, comments that have happened to you in the past, but your brain is doing what it thinks is the right thing. It's providing caution. It's just sometimes doing it in a way that's actually holding you back from taking those risks that you need to take, or taking those opportunities that you need to take. What we tend to do when we say don't listen to them is we just suppress them. We just carry on regardless. But actually, in order to truly understand why you're getting that message, you have to really listen to the message and take some time to think about it. So, for example, a lot of messages that might come through go along the lines of, I'm not good enough. Now, if you're getting a message that says, I'm not good enough to do that, the question is why? Why do you believe you're not good enough to do that? What is it about yourself you believe is not good enough? What evidence do you have that says you're not good enough? What have you tried to do but haven't succeeded in the past? What would happen if you did succeed? What would happen if you did go forward and do it? If you're not good enough, what does good enough look like? What would need to be different in order for you to be good enough? So you can see there's a difference between suppressing it and just carrying on, and listening and starting to dive into it and question it. Because it's when you question it that you start to reveal what's truly causing it. Now, a word of caution here, of course, from the therapy point of view, sometimes we get these messages because of incidents that have happened to ourselves. And that's why this kind of questioning and talking therapy happens between you and your trusted therapist, okay? They help guide you and they provide that support. But a lot of the time we're hearing these negative comments on a day-to-day basis. So those are the ones that I'm saying to you, have a think about. Who says you're no good at presentations? Who says that you can't go for that job? Who says that you'll never get it? Who says that they won't like you? These are things that we think about all the time. These are questions that go through many people's minds. So why is it? And what needs to be different? Because when we don't address them, what happens is we reinforce the belief. We reinforce the belief that we're not good enough, that we won't get the job, that they won't like us. And then we don't take action in order to reverse that. So making that observation is one of the most important steps you can do in terms of actually not just suppressing those negative comments, but actually removing them. When we start to remove the negative comments on a permanent basis and replace them with our positive thoughts and with our positive statements, then we start to build our self-esteem. When we build our self-esteem, we tend to increase our self-confidence. And when we feel good about ourselves, that's our self-esteem. Self-esteem is about how we feel about ourselves. Excuse me. And self-confidence is about how we demonstrate that, so how we interact with others. So it's the behaviours that we have. Then we tend to reduce our social anxiety. Social anxiety is our fear of what others may perceive us to be as. If you perceive you're not good enough, then you may fear that others will think the same. But what evidence do you have that that's what they think? In fact, you're so worried about being judged by others that you're judging others in the way that you don't want to be judged. Get it? Yeah? I'm worried that I'm not good enough, and I'm worried that if I do this, then you'll think I'm not good enough, because I'm worried that I'm going to be judged. So I'm going to judge you first and think that you're going to think I'm not good enough. And that allows me to then not carry on and do the thing that I was going to do. And then I didn't do it. And I didn't do it because I wasn't good enough, because I knew that that's what you'd think. And so the cycle continues. So rather than dwelling on it, rather than suppressing it, stop, be present, be mindful. Start to reconnect with what these negative messages are telling you. Work out whether it's something that you need support with in order to work through. And then find someone to talk it through and give you that support with that questioning technique. Or start to look for evidence that actually dissuades that. You will have had many interactions where you have succeeded and where you have achieved. And that's a great way of starting to list those out. So what I also want to talk to you about today is how the reconnection space is changing. Because we're going to start to have some guest speakers, and we're going to start that from next week. So every Monday now, we're going to have a reconnection story. So it's not always just going to be me talking about how you can improve your mental health and your mental wellness. We're going to have guest speakers coming in and sharing their reconnection stories of times when they made change in their life and when they really reconnected with themselves and their relationships. So I hope you've enjoyed this talk about those negative comments. Leave your comments here. Let us know what topics you'd like us to talk about here on the Reconnection Space. And I'll see you all again for another reconnection moment later. Take care. Bye-bye.